Alright. I think we're live. Oh, Jesus Christ. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I did manage to make it home in time. So, a little bit last minute, but usually we only do watch-alongs over on Twitch. I'm live both on Twitch and on YouTube. I need to tweet out that we're live. Plan today is just chill, watch the sprint qualifying, and then react to it, see what happens, and see if that influences my decision at all. If you haven't watched my final thoughts video that I posted yesterday, 2 days ago now? Yesterday. It was yesterday. Definitely go and watch it. James King, welcome. Max for poll. I can see it. I can see it. First of all, let me get my stream up so that I can actually, well, not my stream, but the broadcast itself up so that I can actually watch it and react to what is happening. Let's make sure I'm muted so I'm not streaming any others. Not muted. Good thing that I checked. Alright, SPRINT-QUALI, watch live. Perfect. Alright. Now I can tweet out that we are live. Let's go on to the worst website on the internet. Let's see, there we go. Copy that. And let's put it on. Discord. There we go. Alright, now I can talk to chat. What's up? Joshua, good afternoon. Do you think it's better to have... James says, do you think it's better to have Piastri McLaren or go for a triple Ferrari? I'm not really a triple Ferrari kind of guy, if I'm honest. Even if they look good. I think that too much can go wrong with that. Salmon Tartar says, no negative chip or wait until closer to Sunday. Definitely wait until closer. Deadline is not until tomorrow. So I would say no negative chip. If the forecast looks the same and you're not planning on using any other chips, I think no negative is a really good use this weekend if it's raining. And right now, I don't think they've changed it. It still looks like it's going to rain on Sunday, yeah? Alright, let's go into F1 Dash so you guys can follow along where I am. There you go. Yeah, I just got home from work literally 20 minutes ago. Why does it say practice 1? Let's try again. I don't want 300. I want 60 seconds. There you go. It says practice 1. I feel like that's just a bug up here. Very difficult to judge. I really need to get on to the dev sites, don't I? Unsafe release. Interesting. They're going on track now, yeah. We'll see what happens when this takes down to 18 seconds. If it's actually working or not. Aston could be good. Stroll's been really good so far in the rain, with an exception, you know, last year in Brazil. But Stroll is usually the reincarnation of Senna in the rain, so I wouldn't mind an Aston build with triple McLaren probably. But we'll see. We'll see how good Ferrari actually are, if they're anything to have. I didn't watch Practice 1, I've just seen the results of it, so if anyone has any insights from Practice 1, please let me know. I was at work, so I could not watch it. If Aston, no negative chip. I think no negative is good no matter which build you have. If you are... Yeah, no matter which build you have, no negative is good this weekend, if it's rainy. I also don't know how much we can take from practice results and the sprint quality results today, because obviously setups are going to change in the rain. Yeah, I just don't trust Alpine, Molly, but I did see that. I think it's correct, yeah? No, this is not correct. This is not correct, right? How do I... This is just not working. Is Hadjar Bortoletto, like, people haven't finished their laps yet. This is just not correct. Why does it say... How do I change this? Oh, well. No F1 dashboard. I'm on... Oi! Something happened. It's not practice, it's sprint quality, right? Who's gone off? Antonelli's probably gone off, yeah. What are you using to view practice on your screen? Well, this is the thing I tried to use was F1 dashboard, but that obviously did not work. So, yeah, Antonelli's off, but he's fine. He just took a trip in the gravel, I think. Could be floor damage there. I'm watching Kimi now. Oh, he spawned in the gravel. Whoa. Once on immediate SQ1 and Antonelli might have... Oh, those tires are definitely ruined. And since the field is so tight, maybe that could be him out then. Solid flat spot, yeah, for sure. I don't think he's an option though in F1 Fantasy, no matter what happens in the sprint quali. Unfortunately. I'm gonna try and get F1 dashboard to work while not much is happening in the SQ1. It's only 4:45 remaining. Okay, I think I got it to work. Here we go. 7 seconds. Yep, there you go. 409. Yep, it's this is where I'm at on the live stream, so we're on the broadcast, I should say. Yeah, but does Antonelli even set a time now after that spin? On point, master stage. Dude, it's not fixed. I've had it down for work. It's way too hot currently. I get too sweaty during the day, so all the gel in the mustache just like fall out. So when I'm at work working outside, I just don't fix it. So it's proper. I'm like Dr. Eggman. But thank you. Though I prefer it when it's twirled. Hamilton 1.6 down. Yup. Alonso on a mission too. Alonso is on a mission. I mean, for my fantasy team, Alonso and Hulkenberg are never leaving no matter what happens in practice. I'm curious if Antonelli gets out here. Okay, Antonelli goes out there, yeah? Or was that Russell? That was Russell. Antonelli is already up there. Okay, he will have a chance, but I wonder what tires he has now. Yeah, Alonso P4 at the moment is pretty big, but again, like the distance between the field is very, very tight. Hamilton currently out, needs to improve. Is right up in Gasly's gearbox. You have Hamilton wondering who to take him out for. I mean, it's probably Piastri, right? Ooh. 0.7 lost in Hamilton's lap from one corner. Oh, you have Piastri too? Interesting. What about double Aston? Sketchy, your opinion? I think triple Aston is too much. Double Aston is fine. Limitless hero in Hungary? Probably Hungary. I don't trust Limitless on the rain. Because there could be different tire strategies, and that could lead to a lot of overtakes in the backfield. So the B-tier drivers are actually better when it's raining. So the distance isn't enough. And then number two, the thing that could really mess up your Limitless is if Limitless picks that you have that no one else have. And by no one else, I mean those people who aren't Limitlessing. If they DNF, and obviously it's a higher chance that they DNF in the rain. So, yeah, no negative is definitely my favorite this week as well. I don't have it, but if I had it, I probably would use it this week. Though don't pop it yet. Definitely wait until after the sprint quali and see what happens, and then check the forecast tomorrow before the deadline. Deadline is at noon Central European time, by the way. It's before the sprint race, so you don't accidentally miss the deadline waiting for qualifying. I'll be live though, so if you subscribe and click the little bell button below if you're on YouTube, or just follow on Twitch, you'll get a notification when I'm live, and that will give you some forewarning so you don't miss the deadline. Quick plug. 22 seconds left. Here we go. Look at this pile up into the final chicane. Hamilton not improving in Sector 1. It's Sector 2 that he messed up in, though. Might keep Ham if he goes on an SQ1. I think that's definitely a shout. But I wouldn't be so sure. He just needs to not make that mistake in the second... in the second sector. Stroll did not start his lap. I think Stroll was too late. Or unless he actually improved and I just missed it. Maybe he was P7. Alright, better second section for Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton spins! Hamilton spins into the final chicane. He's gone. Hamilton's out. Yeah, definitely keep him now. That improves the Limitless, I will say. Whoa. Whoa, it's just straight up yellow. Everyone's out. Antonelli's out too. No one can finish their laps. Like, he's standing in a really bad space. It's not clear. What are you talking about? What? They just green flagged it and Bearman got up to 14th. What's going on? What? How did they... Okay, that's definitely... People are getting... That's definitely going to be altered, right? There's no way that Bearman gets to keep that lap. Antonelli P20. Damn. Hamilton's out. Oh, okay, what does that mean for F1 Fantasy? Is it worth getting him? I mean, if you're on a if you're on like an Aston build, maybe. But like, I do already have him in the Ferrari assets. So I'm not so sure if I want to go for that. Because like the only way you actually have Hamilton in your lineup is if you run something like this, right? And in this case, wouldn't you just rather have whatever, yeah. Wouldn't you rather do something like this? Yeah, you have Hamilton with Aston and Ferrari. Aston and McLaren. Yeah, like... Hamilton is not that big of a differential because a lot of people have the Ferrari constructor asset, right? So you're only really a differential if you have Ferrari plus Hamilton. Unless Hamilton gets, you know, fastest lap or driver of the day. Why, Nico? Hulkenberg out is good though. Oh my god, Lewis, what have you done, mate? Yeah. Shocker. Shocker. I'm really surprised Bearman got a green flag and got to finish a lap there, actually. How many overtakes do we think Hamilton can really get in the sprint distance? Depends on the weather. But, I mean, you would hope for a couple, yeah? If he gets 5 or 6 position, like, if he gets 5 or 6 overtakes, he's definitely worth the pick. But it's one of those where it's really hard to judge, right? Because like, how do you realistically improve? You want to remove Lewis because Antonelli went out of the way? Yeah. Hamilton is going to cost Ferrari a second in the championship? I'm not so sure about that. Was already considering triple McLaren plus Sauber or Aston, but now feel like I need to move Ferrari out. I think it's the opposite. I think Ferrari is better now. They should have never removed Carlos. I disagree. From a pure business standpoint, you always sign Lewis Hamilton. They've already made their money back on him. Molly says 2,585 points, 120.4 budget. Didn't use a chip yet. If you haven't used a single chip, that's really good. 120.4 million is really solid budget wise. 2585 puts you where? Slightly low, but I mean a Limitless in your back, right? So considering you're only like 100 and what? 20 points behind me. That's really solid. I mean, if you get a really good Limitless in, you claw back at least like 80 points to me, right? Yeah, I think Ferrari looks good. Oops. Oh, thank you, Molly. I'm stuck on a Merc build at the moment. Any recommendations? Probably get Ferrari. Or you go to Aston and upgrade and run with 2 premium drivers. Doesn't take a McLaren out for Ferrari now with that hand position. Not on a... I would never get rid of McLaren. McLaren gets too many points. Like, if you want to be super differential with Hamilton now, you do like this and hope he can redeem himself in the race. I'd rather do this than be without the McLaren constructor. The McLaren constructor is unsellable, in my opinion. Eamon says, I sacrificed points for money, have 122 million value, but only 2,417 points. DNFs cost me so much. I think 122 is really good. Obviously, DNFs suck. You just gotta hope that your luck turns for the other half of the season, that other people get the DNFs. Especially since you can afford a different kind of team starting in Hungary. I've got McLaren and Ferrari. Should I keep Ferrari? I think so. Kick or -10 for Aston Martin? Just keep Kick. There's no reason to take a -10 to switch those two. Like, obviously, Aston Martin could pop up with a 45-pointer and Kick could be a 30-pointer, but I don't think it's worth it. Because it could just as well be the same or the other way around. Hulkenberg is starting P16, so he's going to climb 10 positions in the sprint, as usual. I want to keep Norris as he's much better in the wet than Piastri. Do I go Ferrari to Merc so I can do Bortoleto to Stroll? Or do Ferrari, Kick, and Bortoleto Piastri with autopilot? It's a lot of things. I couldn't really keep track of that, Sticks. I'm so sorry. I see the Norris appeal, but I don't think he's that much better than Piastri in the wet. Yeah, never let go of Piastri has kind of been the thing that saved me so far this season. Limitless with Ferrari, McLaren, Norris, Piastri, Ham, Verstappen, Leclerc. Yeah, that would be. If you Limitless this week, it's definitely that run. And I think Limitless is definitely playable now with Hamilton going on in Q1. So Mercedes, Stroll, or Kick Piastri. Probably Kick Piastri. Yeah, I don't like Mercedes at all as an asset currently. Yeah, it's definitely Kick Piastri. Yeah, personally, I don't think I can do anything about that Hamilton Q1 exit or Antonelli Q1 exit. I think I just stick it like this because people who have Hamilton, if you're on like a Kick build, right? Say you have this and then you have this, right? And then you have another premium driver here. Personally, I think the triple McLaren is so good. But obviously, if you can't afford the Lando Norris with this build, Hamilton is obviously decent. That's 8.8 million in the bank, by the way. But there's no way you go this, right? You never go without the McLaren constructor, ever. Am I correct in saying Ferrari can change its setup off the sprint for qualifying? Yes, they can. you are allowed to make changes to the car. The cars come out of Parc Fermé but after the sprint. Is Stroll an option with Aston Pace? Absolutely. Like one of the moves I'm considering with my team is just to get Ocon out for Stroll. The thing that's speaking against that is that I think I would rather go down so that I have the option of final fixing Max if I want to for a rain. 3x with that lineup or not. Before I knew it was going to rain, my plan was actually to switch to a double premium driver lineup with McLaren plus Kick or McLaren plus Aston and then use the 3x. But since it's going to rain, I think I'm going to not do it and just hold the 3x for Brazil or Kota. Maybe Qatar. One of the later sprints, right? Because the thing is, if I go down to like a Pierre Gasly instead of Ocon, I have enough money in the bank to upgrade Piastri to Max Verstappen on a final fix. Kick to Aston worth it if you have free transfers to spare. I am assuming you're trying to say Gasly, Molly. I think Gasly's probably the best downgrade you can make to give yourself budget, right? In terms of like, you know, if you had Ocon or whatever. Because if I have Ocon or Stroll in here, I can't go for Max on a final fix if Max takes pole after on the quali. For no negative, would you rather stick with the McLaren Piastri lineup or run triple McLaren? It literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I don't think so, at least. I think no negative is just good. If it's raining, one. And it's a sprint race. You just use it. Would you still final fax Max if it rains? I think that's when Max is better, no? He made a very uncharacteristic mistake last time around. Alright, green flag. Back to F1 dash. Since there is rain, is Limitless best to use for Hungary? Yes, I think so, Eamon. If your team still looks good for budget after this. Like, the reason I would go for Gasly at all is to leave myself the possibility of getting Max in on a final fix. Because I've already used my no negative, so I can't use no negative. But I do think no negative is the best chip this weekend, by far. Limitless and Spa, Hungary. Before Hamilton went down to Q1, I would have said straight up Hungary. I think it's definitely become better now with Hamilton out in Q1, since you can go for Hamilton and Hamilton. You can go for like McLaren, Ferrari, double McLaren, double Ferrari, Max, and I think that looks like a really good build. So I think it could be really good, but it's also risky, right? So you have a high upside, but also a high downside because of the rain. If it wasn't going to rain and this just happened, I would say definitely use it. It would be really, really good in Spa. But the Limitless, the rainy weather on Sunday is throwing me off on Limitless place. Oscar villain arc pending. Yeah, we'll see how he does. To be honest, can we be sure that Hamilton would overtake a lot? I'm still liking triple McLaren over McLaren Ferrari. I don't know. I think objectively for fantasy, it's better that Hamilton is 18th than that he's 7th. I think there's more opportunity for him to get. Like, he just needs to overtake like 4 cars, and he gets an 8-pointer. And then one person DNFs in front of him, and there's a 9-pointer. And he just automatically scores equal to whoever gets pole today. Sprint pole. And wins it. Say Piastri takes pole and wins it, that's 8 points. Hamilton increases from P18 to P14. That's also 8 points. What weekend should I use autopilot? Sometime later in the season when you have 2 premium drivers. You can use autopilot today if you okay. If you have already used your no negative, if you're on a 2 premium driver build, so, you know, like the triple McLaren build, for example, then I think autopilot is good to use here. That's the only way I would use autopilot. If you have no negative and autopilot, you use no negative guaranteed, because no negative is just straight up stronger. And then what's his face? If you don't have the like 2 premium drivers, I wouldn't bother using autopilot. Hamilton threshold is great this week. It is. Sorry, I may have missed it. Should we run no negative? If available, I think no negative is the best chip this week by far. Yes, but definitely wait until tomorrow to see, because the forecast has changed a bit. So look at the weather tomorrow morning, and if it's looking like rain and you have your no negative remaining, just pop it. With Sprint only giving 8 points for a win, starting back and getting overtakes is better than anything except like the top 3. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Hamilton from P18 is infinitely better than Hamilton from P5, in my opinion. He like, you know, can we be sure Hamilton overtakes that many cars? I don't think Hamilton is going to reach the points tomorrow, but he doesn't need to reach the points to get a lot of fantasy points. He just needs to overtake like 4 or 5 cars, which I definitely think he can do. Do I use no negative or wait to use in Brazil? I mean, if it's sunny in Brazil, you don't know the weather in Brazil, so I would just use it here. If it's raining again. All right, I'm quickly just gonna grab a drink. Alright, Norris crosses the line, goes top. Here comes Piastri though. Villanera, 2 purple sectors. He is up like 3/10 to Norris. Boom. Ooh, half a second up. Insane lap from Piastri. Yes, Daniel, you already know. It's the only thing I drink. Hamilton got Hulk in front of him, may slow him down with his racecraft. It's possible. But like Hamilton, you know, Hulk and Hamilton are just gonna race through the field together. Like Hulk is gonna reach P3 shortly, yeah. Easy 40-pointer. Yeah, it's my this is my one weakness in life. I can't live without it. I'm addicted. Please sponsor me. Oh, Piastri lap time deleted. Unlucky. That lap was insane, though. That makes things exciting. That was such a good lap, though. Let's see where he did. Was it obvious? Oh, that is so marginal, man. Oh, that is... You can barely see that. Oh, I feel so bad for him. That lap was insane. He would have... he would have been up even if he didn't do that. Oh, what is that sector from Max? 0.4 up? Are you kidding me? That's actually disgusting. Adil says, insane lap, it doesn't really matter since he'll make Q3 without it. Well, I still have to make the lap. You saw what happened to Hamilton. He just had to make it across the line. Spun in the last chicane. Yeah, CB, like, that's definitely going to be the meta team. With maybe, like, Ocon being shifted out for... Some people are going to have Ocon, some people are going to have Stroll, some people are going to have Gasly. Some people with lower budgets are going to have Bortoleto or Lawson or Colapinto. I think that's going to be the most common team this week, for sure. But yeah, Piastri, Alonso, Hulk, Behrman is going to be on almost every team, I would imagine. Verstappen goes top. Oh, 6/10 is brutal. That was better than Piastri's lap. It is nice and dry out there now. Leclerc is also faster than Norris, huh? Let's check the forecasts. Weather Spa. So, changing conditions, huh? Lovely. Who would you swap Ocon for as a second transfer? Either Stroll, because I'd rather have Stroll than Ocon. But if you want money in the bank to potentially upgrade Piastri to Verstappen on a final fix, I would consider like Gasly to give yourself the budget for that. But, yeah. Interesting. Tomorrow is looking fine as well. There's no rain tomorrow now. If Limitless, who 2x? Probably Norris. Or you could go for Max and beat differential. $15 seconds remaining. Tsunoda's currently in Q3. Not for long, not for much longer though. Here comes everyone. Lawson, P5. Woo, look at the V-carbs flying. Alonso only 8th. Sainz 3rd. Oh my god, the track evolution is crazy. Who's... Russell's not on a... Is Russell on a lap? Ocon is 3rd. Behrman's 4th. What is happening right now? Alonso's out. Russell's out. Wait, yeah, Russell's not on a lap. Russell's out. Bortoletto's 4th. What's happening? Okay, well, actually, what is happening? This is not... This is not... Russell's not on a lap. He's just straight up out. Gasly's 5th. What is this top 5? Oh, dude, imagine if Piastri was out. Norris? Okay, it goes top. Jesus. What is that top 10, man? Russell's 13th, Alonso 14th. What happened to Aston's pace? Actually, what just happened? Actually, what just happened? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Okay, do you get Russell on a Limitless now? I mean, Mercedes looked pretty good on a Limitless. Actually, or maybe bad if you take this as their pace is bad, but both of their drivers are prime for overtakes. Ay, ay, ay. Is Russell an option now for second driver? Possibly. I mean, if you can fit Piastri... Hold up. Could you do like... What is he cooking? This might be the worst team I've ever made. This might be the worst team I've ever made. Hold on, I have a team I'm not using. I think the budget is garbage, though. I can't afford that. Is it still looking like rain tomorrow? There's no rain tomorrow, but it's looking like rain on Sunday. Tomorrow looks clear. Actually, what happened to Mercedes? Like, Piastri was so close to being out, by the way. Dill says, that's a great team if you forget that there's also race on Sunday. That's so true, man. Stop gaslighting us with that awful team. Hey, I'm just sprint optimization, huh? Is Limitless a good option? Who do you even get on Limitless? I feel like you want Russell as well now. Do you skip Leclerc? Do you go like... Leclerc... Do you go like Hamilton, Russell, Max? Dude, imagine if Piastri went out that. That would have been insane. No, I don't think Limitless is the play with this weather. I agree, Molly. But I do think this sprint qualifying has definitely improved the stocks of it. So I think it's a massive risk because if any of your assets that you have that other people that don't Limitless don't have, you actually just straight up lose the season. Or not lose the season, but like you're going to be behind by a good solid 50 points to everyone else. So I think that team... Piastri P10 now? I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I think Limitless in Hungary is definitely better. But I mean, like, I think the ceiling for a Limitless here in Spa now is really high, but it's obviously very risky. If it didn't... Okay, I will say, though, if this was the sprint qualifying and it was clear on Sunday, I would probably say that if you had Limitless, you Limitless 100%. What is the Limitless Delta, do you think, compared to the Miami Limitless? Miami Limitless Delta is really weird because so many people played no negative, so it's really, really difficult to judge what the actual Delta was for that race. The Limitless Delta in Miami was awful after the sprint, but got better in the race because of a lot of cheap assets that a lot of people own DNF'd, right? So Limitless Delta in Miami is really, really difficult. We're just rewatching Snowda's lap. I don't really care. No negative this week? Yeah. If you have no negative, I think you should use it this week. So I have 3 free transfers, and since I'm not likely to like switch up my entire team here, I think I'm just doing Ocon to someone. Oh, Limitless Delta Monaco, not Miami. Yeah, Monaco Limitless was really good. I think the Delta in Monaco was like 110 or something like that. And I think the Limitless Delta here could be really, really strong, but again, it's a massive risk. So if you build a Limitless team, which I'm going to do with my second team, by the way, because that was the plan all along, to use Limitless. Actually, I was actually planning on using Limitless in Hungary with this one. I could like build a Limitless team with this team, I suppose. So right now, I'm thinking that if you Limitless, it's definitely still McLaren Ferrari. 100%. It's always triple McLaren, but it's always Max Verstappen. JazzQ says, "Hey Ray, McLaren looking dominant, no 3x." I still really like the McLaren 3x if you have triple McLaren, but I just think it's risky with the rain. I'm thinking now maybe this is the Limitless, obviously with the 2x on Norris. If you use Limitless, you still get budget for original team? Yes. So I think you maybe do this instead of this, just because Russell's 13th in sprint. You still get Leclerc's points for the Ferrari assets. Maybe this is how you do it. It depends on where Leclerc finishes, of course. If he's like if Leclerc goes first or second, then maybe you still want Leclerc, but maybe this is the Limitless now. Because Russell could definitely like climb a few positions, get like 7th. You know, score 1 or 2 points, actual points off of the sprint. Climbing 6 positions, get a solid like 15 points in the sprint, and then finish like P4, P5. I feel like you definitely want George Russell if you're Limitless. And you definitely want Hamilton if you're Limitless. And you definitely want Verstappen if you're Limitless. And you definitely want all 3 of these if you're Limitless. So that just leaves Leclerc out of it, I suppose. I think this is the team, actually, if you're Limitless. What's your chip plan for the second half of the season, by the way? Only use 2, but honestly don't know if I'll ever even need a wildcard with the way my team is set up now. Yeah, wildcard, you know, if you think your team is good on a week-by-week basis, you don't have to use the wildcard throughout the season. F1 Fantasy is very liberal when it comes to giving out free transfers every week. So, yeah. You could definitely go an entire season without using wildcard. In terms of my chip strategy for the end of the season, I don't think I'm using 3x here because of the rain. I think it's too risky, personally. So I'm likely using my 3x in either Kota, Brazil, or Qatar. One of the final 3 sprints. In terms of final fix, that's also one that's on a week-by-week basis. It could happen literally at any point throughout the season. But I do think it's more likely to happen when there are penalties and stuff like that. Perhaps Monza feels like a quite common place to take engine penalties. So maybe we do final fix in Monza. Last year I used it in Mexico when Sainz took pole there. So, and then autopilot is probably just used in one of the 3 sprint races where I don't use the 3x when I have enough budget to have a 4A lineup. Rookie this year with strong opening campaign, definitely will consider punting wildcard a bit earlier next year to try and gain rank spots early on. I definitely agree. I think wildcard is really strong early because you can adapt to the meta quickly. I used it literally second week because my team was awful after Australia. Thinking template as well, tossing up whether to replace Bortoletto. I mean, if he's going to qualify P5, you know. I'm surprised Alonso went out. I thought they had the pace. Replace Bortoletto with Lawson, worth it? Not really, because Lawson started in P11. If you're getting a 4.5, I'd rather get Colapinto, who's starting 19th, if I'm honest. But if Bortoletto's, you know, P5, they definitely have the pace. It's also differential for me with a lower budget. Swap McLaren to Ferrari to have Russell and Hamilton with Ferrari. No, I don't think so. That was kind of a meme team I made earlier. I think you have to have McLaren no matter what budget you're on. They're too good. Colapinto in the wet, oof. I mean, if you're using no negative, right? Lawson's gonna lose spots, possible. I think Colapinto in the wet is fine if you have no negative. But I would rather pick no negative than Lawson. No negative. I'd rather pick Colapinto than Lawson because Colapinto's starting 19th and Lawson starting 11th. Already used no negative in Miami. RIP. So did a lot of us. Sometimes you just have to risk it. Who's on pole? We'll see in 7 minutes. I think it's gonna be Max, because it's always Max. This is gonna be one where everyone just sits and waits. That could be the way. Alright, yep. Everyone's just lining up. This is kind of the problem with sprint qualifying. The reduced time makes it that everyone just does one run, which means that everyone waits for the first 3. What about Williams drivers? I haven't really seen enough from them when the midfield is this close to warrant the higher price, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you don't trust that Bortoletto's going to hold on to 5th, and you think he's going to tumble, and you want to sell Bortoletto, and you don't have enough budget to upgrade him, so you need to downgrade Bortoletto, you're very limited in your options. And in that case, I would rather go for Colapinto than Lawson, just because of, you know, neither of them can decrease in price, and at least Colapinto is starting 19th, so if he drops a position, he only loses 1 point, whereas Lawson can tumble a hell of a lot further than that. Alright, if you're here watching right now for SQ3, please like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Of course, we're doing a deadline stream, proper deadline stream tomorrow, where we will discuss the results of this as well. But right now, very, very interesting sprint qualifying so far. A lot of shocking results, and I can't wait to see what happens in SQ3. Unfortunately, the rain on Sunday is kind of messing with my spicy F1 fantasy plans, and right now I'm probably just sticking with, oh, this is the Limitless team I made. I'm probably just sticking with the meta. Meta and pray. I mean, Ocon is also in SQ3, right? I think what happens is in SQ3 here is going to influence what I do with Ocon. If I sell him and who I sell him to. Because Ocon is realistically the only asset in my team that's hanging loose. Fix over on Twitch says, if we have no negative, is now a good time to use? Yes, I think so. If the weather forecast stays the same tomorrow morning before the deadline, I think no negative is the best chip to use this weekend. And I think it's kind of a no-brainer to use it because it's a rainy sprint weekend. SQ3 Haas really makes us question them in terms of points. Yep. Limits their overtaking potential and makes them a risk for points dropped. But again, that also increases the value of no negative, right? Alright, my prediction is that Max is going to be on pole. Alright, sorry, we're not on F1 Dash. This is where I am right now. 2:31 on the clock. If you want to match it with it or be slightly ahead. What's your highest yearly finish in the F1 game? Really hoping for a top 1,000 global and top 100 USA in the opening campaign. My best ever finish was last year, where I finished 9,000, like 100. I can't remember exactly. It was something like that. You can go back and watch it. It's on my channel. I've only been playing F1 Fantasy for 2 years, full time. The year before that, in 2021, I started it but didn't finish it. And then in 2022, I had a really good year, but then I had a really bad Limitless or 3x or whatever it was in Kota. That was before I had the channel, and it was the one where Leclerc and Hamilton both got disqualified, and I had both of them, and I got absolutely shafted and then tumbled down after that. So last year was my best ever result, but this year it's currently my highest ever peak. I've never been as high as where I am right now, which is 3,219. Lando Sector 1 looking real good. But yeah, so this is the highest I've ever been. I'm hoping for a top 5k at least. Verstappen purple in Sector 1. Sector 2 purple for Norris as well. Let's see what Verstappen does. Verstappen is slower. A 10th back. Verstappen to Norris. Piastri purple in Sector 2. 1:41.1 for Norris. Let's see where Verstappen goes. Piastri's so fast. Piastri's going on pole, yeah. Oh, he does! Verstappen's up. Alright, Piastri, where does he go? Half a second. Insane. What a man. Leclerc, what a snap. Leclerc's 8/10 down and is 4th. Ocon, purple in Sector 1, hello? Ocon? Ocon? Only 5th, okay. A second back. Behrman 7th. I was about to say, Ocon, don't do it to the don't do it to him. Gasly and Bortoletto, let's see where they go. That looks like Gasly was over the line. Nope. Bortoletto 9th. And then Hadjar 9th. Okay. Yeah, Oscar nearly half a second better is insane. How's Norris 6/10 back to Piastri, actually? 2x Piastri on Limitless? Probably. When will you decide your team for final? Tomorrow in the deadline stream. Ocon's 5th, though. Best of the rest. Alright. Very, very interesting. Initial thoughts. Piastri, undroppable. Verstappen looks good. Norris looks good. I still think the Limitless team I cooked up on this this team is the correct one. If you put the 2x, where you put the 2x is up to you, right? But I think this is the correct Limitless team. I think you don't need Leclerc, since Leclerc is only P4, and you really want both Hamilton and Russell. Granted, I think Limitless is a big risk with the rain on Sunday, because if someone like a Russell or Verstappen or Hamilton were to DNF, that would really hurt your rank. But I do think the ceiling for Limitless is really good with what happened in the SQ. Now, more likely is that I'm sitting here with this, and like, do I want to get rid of Ocon when he's starting P5 best of the rest? Like, a Bortoletti from 10th is not fantastic, but an Ocon from 5th, that's a couple of points if he stays there. Granted, he needs a 9-pointer over the course of the weekend to increase maximum price. I think he could definitely do that. So, it's very possible that I literally don't make a transfer if I stick with this. Triple McLaren, definitely still possible. I don't think I'm using the 3x, even if I go triple McLaren, just because I don't want to risk it in the rain. But in that case, I would go for either Kick or Aston Martin, and then the thing is, I would have to be Ocon to leave then. Yeah, I don't think I'm going for that build, right? Because I'm also selling Ferrari, and built into the Ferrari asset is going to be Hamilton's points tomorrow if he increases 10 positions, right? Yeah, I'm not swapping Ocon for Stroll either. Like, Ocon P5 is definitely better than Stroll from P14 or whatever it was, right? And I don't really want to sell Ferrari with Hamilton starting so far back. Yeah, I think I might honestly not make a transfer. I'm not even joking. I still think no negative is the best so far. So no negative is definitely the best option in my opinion in terms of chip usage. Do you drop Bortoletti for Lawson or Colapinto? If you can't afford to upgrade, I think you do that. I think you and in that case, I think I go for Colapinto over Lawson, just because Colapinto is P19 and Lawson is P11. Especially if you know negative, because then you cover him off in the sprint or in the rain. Alright, that's gonna do it for me for now. If you want to hear more final thoughts, I need to sort of digest what just happened. Tomorrow, 2 hours before the deadline, so that's 10 a.m. Central Time. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this with me. I'll be live all day tomorrow, pretty much. I'll probably do a watch along for the qualifying as well. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your sprint qualifying Friday afternoon with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.